जोशी सर.
हॅलो बोला.
येस सर. सर सुरू करूयात आपण. इट्स 4 o'clock.
हा करा. प्लीज प्लीज गो अहेड. प्लीज गो अहेड. येस.
Yes. Kamboj sir, we are ready. Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So, good afternoon to all. Myself, Mr. Sagar Nimbalkar. So, I'm welcoming you for today's session on office management. So, we have a very eminent speaker with us. So, I'm taking pleasure to introduce today's our expert. So, we have with us Honorable Colonel Shrish Kamboj, sir. So, I'm introducing sir in brief. So, sir belongs to the Army Educational Corps. Regarding educational qualifications, sir has completed his master's with chemistry subject. Sir is bachelor in education. Sir has completed post graduation in personnel management and industrial relations. Sir has served in armed forces for 26 years, in civil services 15 years. Sir has various academic and administrative appointments in Army, such as Principal of Army Public School, Vice Principal of an international school in Bangalore. Sir is a director of 11 schools in Delhi and used to be 7 schools in Kolkata. Sir has worked as a mentor and counselor in regional centers of IGNU. Sir has worked as an examiner and paper setter for CBSE. Uh, Sir has set up various schools in Delhi, Noida, Kolkata, and Siliguri. Sir has vast experience in working in IT companies in areas such as operations, HR, and recruitment. Then Sir has worked as an instructor in Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, and National Defense Academy, Khadakwasla. Sir has conducted various leadership and personality training programs. Also, sir is very good sportsman, excelled in cricket, football, hockey, badminton, and athletics. So today we have a very eminent and versatile personality with us to guide our students. So I welcome you, sir, on behalf of all students and VIIT. I am handing over this session to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Very kind of you for your, I would say, touching and kind words. It is not exactly that one is absolutely versatile. It is one carries on in life and one who does his studies or his experience. And just to mention that before joining the army, I have had about 2 years in a bank also. I was a probationary officer in the Union Bank of India. It's my great pleasure to be part of this session, that is a bridge course which the VIT has organized for the aspirants of the MBA and the MCA. And also I'm honored actually to be part of this valedictory session of this bridge course. I'm very sure that all of you may be knowing as to what is the importance of this bridge course. As the experts may have already spoken to you, I'm also very, very grateful to all the experts right from the 26th of last month till today for their guidance, for their wisdom, which they may have given to all the aspirants. And I extend a very warm welcome to the aspirants of the MBA and the MCA. Just to mention a few words, I'm sure some of the experts may have already mentioned to you. I'm the registrar here of Vidya Pratishthan and I'm looking after the campus. Not only here, but the various campuses we have right from in Baramati, we have a small campus in Pune, we have a campus in Indapur. So it's spread all over, and the total could be around 300 acres. So we have a very giant family of 31,000 students in all. We have 30 institutions varying from schools and colleges, professional colleges, general colleges. The schools are 16 in number, and the trust has got the pleasure of having all the three courses, that is state board, the CBSE, the ICSE. So in all, the trust is doing very well, and we have a very, very hard working faculty. I would also mention that we have an experts in the VIT who are handling the MBA and the MCA courses headed by Dr. Joshi, who himself has vast experience and he is an excellent guide, an excellent researcher, an excellent person, so who has been the force behind the VIT. I would also like to mention that this 300 acres of Vidya Pratishthan has all the facilities which one would like to. Just a small little quote from a gentleman who had come from Boston, and he was here as a guest speaker, and he mentioned that this campus is as good as any campus, as the best campus in the US. We have all the facilities with us. We have the colleges, we have the mess, we have the hostel, we have the canteen which runs till odd hours and especially meant for the higher education students. They call it the MCAs, the MBAs, the engineering college, because they're generally fond of sitting in the canteen for long hours, chit-chatting, discussing all sorts. Maybe it's general talk, or it could be the syllabi, or it could be anything. So we provide those facilities to all the students in Vidya Pratishthan. So that is only in short which I thought I must tell you about Vidya Pratishthan. That it's a whole, all the facilities, including we have a community center. So you need not to go out. You have a bank, you have an FM, and all the small stores which you look for your daily needs. Therefore, it's a wonderful campus, greenery all around. You can sit anywhere you want, except of course, we would not want the boys coming in and sitting in the girls' hostel. So it's not anywhere, but yes, most of the places you can discuss, chit chat. That is what we look for. And the Vidya Pratishthan, as you all must be knowing, is headed by Honorable Mr. Sharad Pawar, and he's always available to us, mind you, despite his very, I would say, very important position which he holds in his busy schedule. He takes very keen interest, and I would like to specify here, he is very fond of the VIT. Whenever he comes with the guests here, he makes it a point that he lands up in VIT and takes the guest around. So therefore, it is headed by Mr. Sharad Pawar, and we are ably guided by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Ajit Pawar, and academically, and the campus is looked after by Mrs. Sunitra Pawar, who takes keen interest, and she's part of the university. She's in the Senate, she's in the Academic Council, she's also in the Management Committee. Therefore, the Vidya Pratishthan holds a very key and an important position also in the university. That is what I thought I must tell you. Now, the aspirants, generally what, I'm sure the experts may have already informed you about the syllabus, what is needed, how we go about the MBA, how we go about the MCA. I had the pleasure of doing this postgraduate degree in personal management from Symbiosis, and that was way back. It was in 2000. So I have a fair amount of idea of being an army officer. I have a fair amount of idea of being in seeing the civil side also and the armed forces side also. It is more or less the same. I mean, what happens is we have a very different, people have a different opinion about the armed forces. You all, I mean, most of the people think that armed forces is something secluded, the armed forces is something very secretive, it is very private. No, it's not like that. It's no more like that. It may have been long time ago, but it's not like that. You may think that once the order given is given. No, it doesn't happen. There are lots of discussions. Though there is a difference between the people in the civil street and there is a difference in the people in the armed forces. But it's not like what most of the people think. It's not like that. I have seen 15 years of civil before, after I left the army in 2006. And I've had a number of appointments there. And now I have also been, when I left the army prematurely, I have seen the education, because I am from the education corps and holding various positions in the education. I have also seen the IT companies because I thought I would change my profile and go into the IT, though I am not a software or a hardware expert, but I was into the operations. I looked after the HR, the recruitment. So therefore, what I wanted to tell you is I have seen both sides. What is expected of people or the aspirants who are joining the various companies or who have a startup themselves or who are joining their own parental or ancestral companies. Here I would like to mention that while I was in Bangalore, I have had the pleasure of interacting with Mr. Premji, Mr. Narayan Murthy. I have had also the privilege of going into the companies and see the functioning, how they really function. And the discussion has been very deep. I have also asked them questions as to what exactly are they looking for. How do they select candidates? You have the campus interviews for the HRs and other people visiting the companies, visiting the institutions. They select you, yes, they select you on the basis of your, I would say, your scores and other things. But once you land up in the company, I would say it's a very different approach there. It's not only what you have been taught, but what you have inculcated over a period of time. How you have come up, how you have grown. So the first thing they said, Kanuzab, we have had some excellent people. We select the cream of the various institutions, but some of them, when they land up in the company, they prove to be a little, they lag in certain qualities. Now, why do they lag these qualities? It is not that we do it deliberately or we are not made for it. We are not made for that. No, exactly not. Each one of you is intelligent. Each one of you is brilliant. Each one of you is fit for any of the good companies. But it's only a matter of, I would say, the habit. How you inculcate the good habits, how you catch on to the various protocols, the various policies of the company, how there are certain, I would say, unwritten laws in every company, which is not written anywhere, but it comes from within. So they told me, each one of them told me, sir, we look for an overall picture of an individual. The basic when he lands up or he or she lands up in a company, how he or she conducts, how you groomed. There are so many eyes looking at you once you join the company. I would say all the companies. There's nothing big, nothing small. There's only a matter of their businesses and other things. But each company is looking for somebody who fits into their company, catches on to the company. And there where some of us are a little behind. You need to groom, you need to grow, you need to inculcate yourself. How you go, how you behave, the very first day you land up, how you conduct yourself on first day. Now, there is a very common saying, handsome is he who handsomely does. How you conduct your task, how you greet people. Now, nobody's going to teach you this. You got to learn all these things yourself. The etiquettes of the office, the protocols of the office, the policies of the office, the rules and regulations of the office. There, you need to catch on to those. They say yes. I mean, there is a common feeling amongst most of us. I mean, see, I'm from a very old school. We say he's got a beard and he's got long hair and he's not dressed properly. No, you can have a beard. Nobody's stopping you from having a beard. But then how you keep your beard, that's very important. How you keep your long hair, that's very important. It's very, very important. How you talk. It's not necessary that each one of us are brilliant in the language of English. Yes, English is required, needed to some extent. You could be Hindi, you could be Marathi, you could be in any language, regional language. You are from all languages are respected. But the general conversation is how you really conduct yourself. And mind you, believe you me, the first impression is always the last impression. You land up and you're not properly dressed. Now, we all are very fond of wearing jeans, we are very fond of wearing t-shirts. Fine, you wear, there's no stopping it. You will not find, except for you, few companies where there's a dress regulation. There are. So, you then act accordingly. You change yourself. You need to change yourself. That's what is needed. Now, once you go and join a company, you first of all, you should know the policies. Now, there are various rules and regulations. You need to follow them. Now, everybody takes time. Now, what Mr. Narayan Murthy told me, I would like to tell you that. He said, sir, these gentlemen, they're brilliant. As I said, they joined the company. But at times it happens that when they are presenting themselves or when they are giving a presentation to a person, like for Infosys, for Wipro, there are people coming from abroad. So when we ask them to give the presentation or we ask them to be present in those presentations, and that is where we see that some of us are not up to the mark. The communication skills, as I mentioned, need not be English. Yes, there are some companies who follow that language or will stress on those languages. But then, whatever you speak, you should speak nicely, properly, and with a proper dictum. That is what it should be. Because we are a vast country and we come from all over the states and we have our own language and we must do well whenever we join a company. The first and foremost, you must read the policies, the rules and regulations of the company. I would like to mention here that gone are the days, a small little anecdote from the armed forces. There was a class going on of the Havaldars, of the instructors, of the recruits, and it's an anecdote. Somebody said, "Dunya gol hai," the word is round. Now, somebody said, "Why the word is round? Dunya gol kyun hai?" Now the instructor, he didn't know whatever. He answered, "कि साहब commanding officer साहब का हुक्म है." Commanding officer का हुक्म है means it is taken that it is the ultimate and you have to. But it's not the case now. People do question you, people do answer, expect an answer from you, and they need a logic. That is very important. One very important point I would like to stress here is whatever company you're joining in, or you have your own disagreements, you have your own meetings where you have a leader, you have a young aspirant who just recently joined, you have a manager, you have a senior manager, you have the CEO. Now, there are discussions at all levels. Now, discussion takes place at the junior most level, discussion takes place at the middle level, and the discussion takes place at the senior most level. Now, this is very important that you are part of that discussion. Now, you may have a different opinion about whatever the the topic of discussion would be. But then once the decision has been taken, it becomes the decision of the whole company. Now what generally I have seen in my 5 to 6 years in an IT company is that some of us who have not really agreed to that decision go out and they spread rumors, they talk gossip, they gossip around. मैंने तो ये नहीं सोचा था, मैंने तो ये बोला था, लेकिन मैनेजर ने ये बोल दिया. No, you have to stick to it. You are party to it. Whatever disagreements you have, you sort it out. You speak your mind. You will be asked your opinion. You speak well. And if the decision is slightly contrary to what you wanted, and the decision is final of the company, the management, it becomes your decision. So therefore, what I would like to, what I meant here was that you are part of the management till the time you're there in the management, and you are a party to all the decisions. Because one odd gossip leads to number of gossips, and then this leads to number of misunderstandings. Now believe you me, there are lots of misunderstandings because of which number of good aspirants, number of good people have lost their jobs because of all this. Therefore, what I would suggest, what I have seen in my life or in my experience both in the armed forces and in the, I would say, in the civil street, is that please stay away from gossip. Please stay away from the gossip. Now there are some protocols which you must follow, and why these protocols are? Because generally to maintain the order in the organization, the society, attain success, which is very important for any company. Any company without any, I would say, protocol or a policy is disregarded because it doesn't have any meaning. So people go by various policies, various regulations the company follows. It makes the whole society of the company very harmonious. And it also, which is very important, is the organization becomes very, very strong. The foundation becomes strong. And that is how these big companies are successful, just because of that. Because I have a number of relatives working in Infosys. There are some of them in Wipro and various other companies. I have had the privilege of talking to each one of them, and they have a very strong foundation, very, very strong foundation. And they are stickler to rules, absolutely. Now, what is a policy formulation? Now, why is a policy formed? The policy is formed basically is to, I would say, an approach to the connecting problems. So you form a policy to see that whatever you're forming or whatever you're doing is successful. That is why a policy is formed in a company. And why it is needed? It is generally needed to set a general plan of action which guides or the, I would say, the desired outcomes. What ultimately is needed out of a single individual or out of the, I would say, the company. Now we come to once you have joined, then you rise in stature, you become a manager, whatever. At all levels, you are in charge, whatever it is. So therefore, what are the good qualities? What is the main important quality of a manager? It is, I would say, it is the ability to motivate, I would say, the group which he commands to strive for a specific goal. Now, once he is successful, he attains the position in the company. Therefore, that is a quality of a good manager. Now, what is a poor manager? A poor manager, I would say, is, I would also relate this to a manager who doesn't go into the micromanaging. I would say, see that a junior is elevated, to see how creative. Let him do his job. Please do not micromanage. Leave it for the smaller leaders to manage it, and in case they get stuck, that is the place where you come into play, and there where you guide these leaders. And a poor manager always goes and does that, tuck, 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 no, do this, do this, do this. So the development of the juniors is hampered. So that is not a good manager. I'm just saying, there are various qualities which we see in a manager, but I'm not going into the details. I'm sure the experts may have already spoken to you about it. I'm just talking about of my experience, whatever little I have. Next comes the discipline part. Before I go into discipline part, I would also like you to mention something about the office etiquettes, which are very, very important. Now, the most common thing which is irritating to each one of us is the way we converse on a cell phone, or we converse on a telephone, or an intercom, for that matter. Now, all of us know that we have small little cubicles where we sit. Now, if we start shouting on that and talking so loudly that it hampers the other gentleman or the lady who's sitting next to you, or maybe in the whole office. This is the first and the foremost which one must get this from. One must avoid talking loudly. It has become a habit. When you go on a railway station, you go and sit in the, I would say, in the bogie, and you're talking so loudly, or in the aircraft when the aircraft is about to take off. Naturally, you can't speak when you're on the flight. It's very, very irritating. The other thing is how you manage your table. Very, very important to be very, very neat. I know some of us work very well when the papers are helter and skelter and you look for it, but it is one of the things which are needed when you go to an office, or you have a small cubicle of yours, or you have a small little cabin of yours. Each thing is related. You don't have a pen of yours, you don't have a pencil of yours, some notes are given to you and you're not carrying a small little diary with you. You forget, and then in the end you say, "Sir, I'm very sorry, I have not been able to do the job because I forgot." So therefore, it is necessary that you must have a small little diary in your pocket, and whatever is given, you note it down. You may have brilliant memory, but there are certain things which either you overlook or you forget, and then which may be the crux. So therefore, that is needed. The dressing sense is very important in an office. However you may dress very smart. Smart in the sense that I'm not saying you're wearing a red watch, or you're wearing say Raymond's shirt. No, it doesn't affect anybody. The only thing is that you should carry yourself well. That's it. That's what is in the office. So there are a number of things which you will learn gradually as far as the office is concerned. I would now come to the discipline part. Now, it's a very common thing both in the armed forces and in the civil organizations, is a justice denied, justice delayed is justice denied. Now, whether it is a good point, or it's a bad point, or it's a reprimand, or whatever, it has to be given straight away. Now, if you have to praise somebody, it should be then and there, or within a couple of days, or maybe 3 days, or 4 days, or 5 days. But you should not delay it, because then the interest goes. Similarly, it goes with the reprimand. It has to be done immediately. And then there should be no favoritism. One has to be a manager, or anyone leading a group should be very, very transparent. When you have to reprimand somebody, you have to reprimand. And we have two extreme cases. I would say a very extreme case. I was working with this MNC, and I'm looking after the HR and recruitment and blah blah whatever the operations. The company's time was 5:30 to leave. I get a mail and followed by a call from abroad, from the US, I would say. This gentleman has to be walked off from the office in the next half an hour. Now this is an extreme. One shouldn't do this. Well, I'm saying it now, I've already left, but I had a discussion on this with them. Now, how can you ask a person to leave unless it's a very, very grave charge? Half an hour is not the time to be given to an individual to leave the company or to be thrown out of the company without giving the valid reasons, without really giving him time to explain anything what he has done. It was only a very small thing which happened, and we couldn't do anything about it because it was the management which took the decision from abroad, and we had to, but it was a very, very sad and extreme case. It should not happen. When you reprimand somebody, you have to give him enough or her enough time. You cannot dismiss somebody. You have to give him first a verbal warning. You could talk to him, explain to him in a meeting what wrong has gone. It's quite possible that he's young and he may have overlooked something. It may not be deliberate. So you have to, and that is the first thing that you should do, or which is done in a good company. Then it's maybe a written warning, if it's repeated. Mistakes do happen. Then it's repeated again, then there is another. Then there is a procedure of maybe having 2 or 3 warnings, what you call and memo, and then we discuss the guy. So that is what is procedure. Discipline has to be maintained, yes. Similar as in the armed forces. I mean, we have a procedure there. We do not throw him out there. We court-martial. You must have heard about court-martials. We do that. But there is a procedure. It takes time. And mind you, each thing can be challenged in various courts. So you should be thorough in the rules and regulations if you are a decision maker. What are the policies? What are the rules? What are the regulations on that particular subject? And then only you reprimand or you discipline the person. I would say, unless you improve your own discipline, you have no right to discipline the other person. You have to be upright, you have to be transparent, you have to be good, you have to acknowledge. There are various factors, qualities which a person should have. Then only you can be a good manager, a good leader. Therefore, what I probably thought of telling you is discipline is the most important in any company. Whether it's your own company, whether you have just started a company, or you're part of a good company, wherever you are, in any walk of life, all walks of life, you have to be disciplined. And you should know the procedure of what is discipline and why it is necessary and why it should be done. It is very, very important. Actually, I was given the topic of this office management, but I thought office management, yes, they are much more honorable and experts on the subject. They would have already spoken to you. Therefore, what I thought, and I spoke to the director, and I said, is it okay if I talk on my experience both in the civil street and in the armed forces, to whatever little I have gained. So that was the basic motto of today's whatever little I could tell you out of the experience I've had. And I'm sure during these few days that the experts of the NBA and the NCA have spoken to you, they have done what I have been told, and I'm sure I've seen them, I've heard some of them. They have done an extremely great job and be on part of the management of Vijay Pratishthan Trust are indeed grateful to each one of them for sparing the time, the valuable time, and trying to convey in this short 6 to 7 days of the bridge course. Now, bridge course in most of the cases are much longer actually, because it is, I would say, it is a familiarization of the various courses you're going to attend. Therefore, in the end, I would express my gratitude to each one of the experts, and I will be grateful to all the students or the aspirants who are part of this bridge course and who are there today and who have been there from 26th of last month. Indeed grateful. It was my pleasure, and look forward to each one of you in the future. Thank you so very much. Very kind of you.
Thank you so much for your guidance, your valuable guidance. Yes, students, if you have any questions to sir, the platform is open. You can ask. You can ask your doubts. You can ask for advice to sir. Sir is having very vast experience in various areas.
I'm not an expert. I can just give you the answers from whatever walks of life I have been in. So I'm not an expert actually, but yes, I am there.
Yes.
Anybody wants to ask any questions?
I can see some of them there, 33, 34.
Hinduja, any question you want to ask? Aishwarya?
No question.
Sorry sir, I couldn't hear you.
You can ask the question in any language you require. It doesn't matter that you want to convey something. Convey it in any language. We'll be able to answer.
Marathi language, the answer will be given by the director.
Hinduja, काही प्रश्न असतील तर आकाश, साक्षी, अक्षय. See, if you don't ask questions, कैसे चलेगा भैया? बोला. Please.
I'm sure
नाही
most
तर
of them
मला
will come here and then they can ask questions
नाही
also.
नाही तर मला असं समजायला लागेल की तुम्हाला सगळं समजलं किंवा काहीही समजलेलं नाही. Anyway, one question, sir, from on others' behalf, I would like to ask a question. Actually, like you said that whether it is in civil or it is in even army, there are protocols, there are norms, there are rules, regulations that we follow. But at the same time, there are people who they tend to bypass those rules and regulations, tend to actually take shortcuts somewhere. Now, somebody taking shortcuts, whether it is in civil or army life, how do a person react to such kind of shortcuts, and what as a manager one should do? If you can highlight a few incidences whatever you come across, that will be nicer.
Yeah, actually,
Because shortcuts, these students have got habit of getting into the shortcut to get something or grab something. It's quite possible they resort to some shortcut. Yeah.
See, I would like to say that I mentioned this, that yes, we are all very fond of taking shortcuts, but it doesn't really in the long run, it doesn't help. And a good manager will always try and, what I said is there is again a procedure. Now, if you reprimand a person straight away, I think it will be a little, it will be off course. I as a manager would first like to explain to him why the shortcut, first of all ask him why the shortcut has been taken. Then I would like to ask him as to what is the aim of this, whatever the task given to him. I will tell you one example, and it's a very common example. I will come to that later. The Indian team, Indian cricket team, I'm talking of 1991. The Indian cricket team was touring, was to go to Sharjah to play the tri-series with Pakistan and I think Australia with them. And I was at that time was the coach and manager of the services cricket team, Ranji Trophy which plays. And the Indian cricket team was in that army ground. They were also practicing, and this is basically done to for the safety and security of the team. So I used to watch them how they play and what they do. Right from the morning, 8 o'clock, they would be on the ground. And that time, the captain of the Indian team was Azharuddin. And this gentleman, Kambli, I would say Tendulkar, Kapil Dev, they were all there. And if you, I wouldn't like to say his name, but the gentleman is a manager now. There were three of them of this Indian team. We had a very big, large ground. There were two cricket grounds. So one cricket ground we used to practice, and the other Indian team was to practice. Now there were three of these gentlemen who went. The manager was Venu Mankat, not Venu Mankat, Ashok Mankat. Now Ashok Mankat would tell them, now go around and take 3 rounds or 4 rounds or whatever it was. There were three gentlemen who would take a shortcut. Instead of going the whole round of say 1600 meters, they would come across like this, chota mar ke, and then third round was like only 200 meters. So you find in all walks of life. And this gentleman, one of the leaders of this gentleman, is a manager of a team now. I think some team, I would not say, but yes, it's a national team. So I couldn't, being in the army, I couldn't really, I I wanted to ask him. I went to him. I said, Mr. So-and-so, I have been seeing this practice for the Indian team for the last 11 days. And each day in the morning when I come, I always see that you take a shortcut. What is the aim of the shortcut? He told me a very funny answer. He said, I was a major that time. He said, Major Saab, इस दौड़ भाग का फायदा क्या है? So this is the first thing he said. I said, दौड़ भाग का काम आपको जब फील्ड में दौड़ोगे तब आएगा. आपने लिया. He said, sir, I am not very fond of running. I said, if you are not fond of running, how do you manage to play? I mean, you need to have the stamina, you need to have the coordination between the leg and this. So each one of us, what I'm trying to say is, at any level, there is a tendency to make a shortcut. But yes, now the manager has to tell, manager of any company or manager at all levels, as to why he did it, what was the reason he did it, and why he should not do it, and why he should do it. I mean, I would take that route. But if you reprimand him and drop him from the cricket team, will not help. You drop Mr. So-and-so, no, you're not doing the job, you just go ahead. I would say, I mean, at the highest level, I've seen it. I'm just because I'm a cricketer, I'm a sportsman, so therefore I gave you that example. But as a manager in any company, I would not reprimand immediately, but I would go into why the gentleman is taking and then solve his problem and make sure, I would say, not make sure, I mean, inculcate the habit into him that he doesn't take the shortcut. That is what I would.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for elaborating this element.
Example, but it came to my mind. I give you that example.
Absolutely, it's a wonderful and very relevant example that you gave, because these children, I call them all, those children are in mid-20s now, and they have. Why I asked this question, because they had this kind of a habit to take a shortcut and then try and achieve something. And if somebody takes shortcut, what are the certain fallouts that are going to be there, which they will have to face. So in order to make them understand, and thankful to you for giving such kind of
example. I will give you one more example, similar example.
Yes, sir.
A fast bowler, again no names. Now after this run, they would come and practice onto the pitch. Now this gentleman came in a vest and shorts. He is a very renowned cricketer. Very renowned cricketer. He is a medium pacer. Now I went and I said, in the armed forces here on this cricket, you are not supposed to be wearing a vest and a kacha. I told him this, kacha. And you're bowling on the cricket field. No. So he asked me, he said, sir, why? I said, because that is the rules and regulations. That's the rules we are following. You may do it in Kotla, I'm talking of Delhi. You may do it in Firozshah Kotla. But here in Palam, you cannot do it, because that's the rule and the regulation. So you have a set of policies, you have a set of rules where you do not allow such thing to happen or something. Fine. I literally told him, and I wouldn't name him because it doesn't look nice. He's a renowned medium pacer and a batsman. So all-rounder, I would say, of the Indian cricket.
Okay.
So it's there. So that is
Okay.
why the policies are there. That's the rule. Now there's a difference between a rule and a regulation. Regulation generally comes from the constitution or whatever. And rules you make yours. And policy, again, part of the sub-rules is a policy that you make it,
Right.
convenient. So that's all.
In fact, I now plan to actually formulate a workshop for these children for actually how to design and frame policies, because these are the things that they are going to require, whether they will specialize into HR, finance, marketing, any specialization.
Correct.
They are going to be heading or maybe playing important role in that department, and they must know how to contribute to design those policies so that they themselves can follow and they can make others follow, I guess. So I'm very delighted to have you, sir, over here.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I'm
Yeah.
thoroughly honored and I'm grateful to you for having.
Yeah, in fact, on behalf of Vidya Pratishthan's Institute of Information Technology, here I am to actually give this vote of thanks. And let me tell you, sir, it was one of the very enlightening experience to have you
I
here.
look forward to
And-
such. Actually, I
and
look
of
forward to
course-
such interaction with
Yeah.
the extempore.
Yeah. But then extempore is one of those things that happens and it's actually giving justice to the topic.
Yeah.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you to be part of our bridge course. I thank all participants also who enrolled and actually were participating this 7-day long bridge course. Now, this bridge course was, the purpose was to make you aware what all things that you have in store when you actually get into the management degree. You want to learn management, you want to learn management courses. These are the things that are going to be part of your life, and making them aware. It's just a case of kind of awareness campaign that we actually indulged into in these 7 days time. And I actually was thankful to experts who came all the way and spent their time with us. And almost all of them, I can tell you, are my ex-colleagues wherever I have worked with. And I was happy to be part of this, 7 days long bridge course. Probably this could be a thing that could be continued in future also. The last year we had this same kind of program. We used to call it orientation program. Now this time we have called it bridge course because this is what is the word used by even AICTE as well as all those governing bodies. They expect us to have some kind of bridge courses. This is the first of this particular academic year 21-22, and my friends will be following it up either in the next few days also with some different programs. Now let me tell you one program which is coming up for those all who are participants and wanting to crack MBA and MCA CET. So how to crack MBA, MCA, CET, that is coming up next week's time. Maybe probably next 2-3 days time you will be notified. And those who are interested to actually appear for the CET. CET is going to happen somewhere in the month of, in this month only, maybe somewhere in the last week of August. And you all will be attempting it, and after cracking that CET, then doors will open for you to get admissions into institute like ours. I don't insist, like I'm having a little bit aggressive campaigning here, that I don't insist that you take admissions with us. You already know what kind of people we are. You already know what kind of course we have conducted for you. And if you want to have glimpse of our, all kinds of amenities and facilities and the infrastructure we have, please visit our campus. Please visit our website. Please visit our students and their profiles to come to know how do we groom students. And I believe you might have enjoyed this 7-day long bridge course. We look forward to meet you again into the course which we are wanting to conduct for cracking the MBA and MCA CET. So that's all from our side. Thank you very much for being with us. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
We take your leave. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Students, before you leave, please give your feedback. The link is pasted in chat box.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I am
Yes.
also calling off. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence.
Yeah.
आम्हाला दोन तीन दिवसात तुम्हाला देऊ.
झालं.
Notify.
त्यांना सगळ्यांना बाय बाय करूनच निघालो मी. आता तुमचं चालू आहे म्हणलं मी. मी इथं बसून तुम्हाला पार्टिसिपेट केलं, आता काही नाही करणार याच्यापेक्षा.